Before we dive into the episode, I just wanted to tell you about the Moms Make Money Collective community, where we host free networking events every single month. If you are interested in learning more about how you can connect with other moms in business and build out your referral network, then go to momsmakemoneycollective.com/networking today and sign up for the free community. I hope to see you inside. All right, let's jump into the episode. Have you ever had a client who just wouldn't respect your boundaries? Maybe they kept pushing for extra work beyond what you agreed to, or they go completely MIA when it's time to pay. Dealing with difficult clients is something every entrepreneur faces at some point, but the key is knowing how to handle it with grace, without sacrificing your sanity or your business reputation. In today's episode, I'm sharing exactly how to navigate these tricky situations like a pro so that you can maintain strong client relationships while protecting your time, energy, and bottom line. Let's jump in. Welcome to the Moms Make Money podcast. I'm your host, Jenny. I'm the owner of Moms Make Money Collective, a podcast and visibility strategist and mom of two. Many moms feel like we need to sacrifice our careers for our children, but I wholeheartedly believe that we can have a thriving business and family at the same time. In this podcast, we're going to be diving into the ins and outs of running a business as a mom and getting real and raw about all things parenting. So buckle up because we're about to go all in. Hey, welcome back to another episode of Moms Make Money. I'm your host, Jenny, and today we are diving into a super important topic that I know many of you have probably encountered at some point in your business, and that is handling difficult client situations with grace. Whether it's miscommunication, boundary pushing, or just misalignment of expectations, navigating tricky client interactions is an essential skill for every entrepreneur. So in today's episode, I'll be sharing my best tips for managing these situations professionally while maintaining your sanity and keeping your business reputation intact. If you've ever found yourself struggling with a difficult client, this one is for you. So before we dive into solutions for you, let's first identify the types of difficult client situations that you may face in your business. So the first one is unclear expectations. So the client expected one thing, but you delivered something different based on the agreed scope of work. The second thing is scope creep. So this is when a client continually asks for just one more thing that wasn't originally included in your project. Number 3, late payments. A client is consistently late with invoices or refuses to pay. Number 4, communication issues. Misunderstandings or lack of responsiveness from the client. Number 5, personality clashes. Sometimes you and a client just don't mesh well, and that can make working together kind of difficult. Recognizing which category that your client falls into will help you determine the best approach to resolving the situation. So now let's talk about setting clear boundaries from the start. So the best way to avoid these client conflicts is going to be setting clear boundaries and expectations from the very beginning. And here's how to do that. So number 1, have a strong contract. So always have a clear, detailed contract that outlines the deliverables, the timelines, the payment terms, and boundaries around revisions and communication. The second thing is to communicate upfront. So ensure your client fully understands what's included in your services and what's not. And then lastly, number 3, have a clear onboarding process. So a structured onboarding process helps prevent misunderstandings before they arise. If a client ever tries to push boundaries, having documentation to reference makes it much easier to enforce your policies. Now let's talk about some strategies for handling these difficult clients. Even with clear boundaries, difficult situations can still arise. Here's how to handle them with professionalism and grace. So first, you want to remain calm and professional. If a client is upset or frustrated, do your best to stay level-headed. Reacting emotionally can escalate the situation, and we obviously don't want to do that. Number 2, acknowledge their concern. Clients want to feel heard. A simple, I completely understand your frustration and I want to find a solution that works for both of us can go a long way. Number 3, refer back to agreements. If a client's asking for something outside of scope, politely refer back to the contract. You can say things like, that sounds like a great addition. Based on our agreement, this would fall outside of the original scope, but I'd be happy to provide a quote for the additional work. Offer solutions, not just problems. If an issue arises, offer a clear path forward. For example, if a client's unhappy with a deliverable, you might say, I want to ensure you're happy with the final result. Here's what I can adjust within agreed scope, And if you need additional changes, we can discuss options for an add-on. And lastly, know when to walk away. If a client's being disrespectful, refusing to pay, or making unreasonable demands, it's okay to just walk away. Your mental health and business integrity are far more important than one difficult client. To minimize future difficult client situations, consider implementing the following. Number 1, a red flags list. So keep track of past experiences or create a mental or actual list of red flags that indicate a potential problem client. Next up is a pre-client screening. Conduct discovery calls to ensure that the client is a good fit before agreeing to work together. The third one is regular client check-ins. So frequent communication and project updates can prevent misunderstandings before they even escalate. And lastly, enforce late payment policies. Have a clear late payment policy in place, such as adding a late fee or pausing work until the payment is received. All right, friends, that is it for today's episode. I hope you found these tips helpful and feel more confident in handling difficult client situations moving forward. I love hearing from you, so if you have any questions about handling tricky client situations, send me a DM on Instagram at jenny.suneson, so that's jenny.suneson. I'd love to help you get those solved. And remember, every entrepreneur encounters challenges, but it's how you handle them that sets you apart. If you enjoyed today's episode, I'd love it if you could take a moment to leave a review on Apple Podcasts or share this episode with a fellow mom entrepreneur who might need it. And don't forget to check out the free From Chaos to Clarity audio series. This is a 7-part episode series that helps you streamline your service-based business as a busy mom. If you want to check out the series, you can go to momsmakemoneycollective.com/series, and I'll also link in the show notes, and I hope to see you inside. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'll see you next week on another episode of Moms Make Money. Thank you so much for tuning into today's episode. I really hope you enjoyed it. I'd love it if you would head on over to our free Facebook group called Moms Make Money Collective to connect with us further. If you're more of an Instagram fan, make sure you're following us on Instagram at Moms Make Money Collective. If you're loving the show, make sure to leave us a rating and review on Apple Podcast. Your feedback means the absolute world to us. We'll see you in the next episode.